Alright, now we'll continue with gameplay. When we left off, the religious player, the religious one, she had a chance to go. And I think she's going to run from the forest and go to the asylum as her first action on her turn. Her second action will be to explore the asylum. And she just happened to get a card called Safe for Now. Safe for Now is a lovely little card that allows you to escape from combat. You can play that card to avoid any combat so you don't get attacked. That's good. She'll hold on to that for a little while. Let's see. The angry one. What's he going to do? Let's let him stay here at the cemetery and explore. Alright, that was the opposite end of the Safe for Now, because with off-screen teleport, which is what he got, if you can see, what he got brings the villain directly to him. And they engage in what they call a single combat round. A single combat round has the player and the villain fighting, with the loser going back to their respective starting areas. If you remember from the last video, the villain has 3 combat, plus 1 for each victim or ally, plus 1 for that item. So that's 5 dice that the villain gets to roll. And the villain has 3 successes. The angry one, his combat is 3. So he rolls these 3 dice. And he gets nothing at all. Which means he takes 3 damage. And because, as we said in the single combat round, the loser goes back to their starting area. And the fight ends. Had the player done damage to the villain, damage would be taken by overturning cards and depleting the villain's life deck. And now that the angry one had 1 turn, his second turn is going to be to heal. And he rolled a 6, which with a 1d3, you cut the 6 in half, and he gets 3, and he heals back up to his 8. Now the villain turn, as we said, the villain has to roll. Goes to a random location. In this case, he goes back to the farm and overturns until he finds a victim or ally. And he found the farmhand, and he's going to leave him sit there. Alright, now what does the villain card say? Invite to the picnic. The villain moves to a random location and attacks a victim or ally in that discard pile. Alrighty, the villain moves to number 2. There is no victim or ally in the discard pile, so they do not get to fight. First player token passes, this gets discarded, and play resumes. Let's see, the angry guy's red. He's going to come over here to the residential neighborhood. He's going to try to fight this guy. Now, as we said, when there's a enemy on top, as the free action, you must fight this thing in order to get to the rest of the deck. So, his combat of 3 versus the bad guys. No. So he takes 2 damage. And instead of running, he's going to fight on, because he's an angry person. 1 success. 1 success. A tie means no damage is dealt. But with his special ability of Roid Rage, he's able to turn 1 attack into a success. So he spends it. This becomes a success. And we win. Now again, for winning a combat, you do get a clue. So that was very, very fortunate for him. Now that did not take an action to fight, so he's going to explore again. The SUV. So the SUV says you find the large vehicle sitting with the driver's side door open. The driver's lying on the ground next to it. Make a nerve check to search the driver. If it's successful, you gain the keys to the SUV. You can attach it to your character to escape any combat and move to any location. So his nerve is 3. And he does indeed get the keys to an SUV. Alright. Now his turn's over. Now we come to the religious one. Whenever your character is with the villain, they must, at the start of their turn, fight that villain. But she happens to have this Safe for Now card, which she got from the asylum, so she's going to play that and run. Where is she going to run to? Well, she's religious. Let's have her run to the church. Alright, so that was not one of her actions because the attack by the villain, just like with the attack by these enemies, does not take an action. So, her first action will be to explore, and she finds ghosts in the rectory. Roll the die, she rolls a 1. 1 to 3, make a nerve test. Her nerve is 2, and she fails. Which again, for explanation purposes is good, for gameplay purposes not so much. Because if she fails a nerve test, it tells her to do what's called panic. Panicking involves her rolling a die to move to a random location. Not only do you move to a random location, but panic also, as you roll a die and discarding, 1d3 items, allies, clues, etc. Rolling a 5, she has to discard 3 things. She only has the axe, so she must get rid of the axe, because she panicked, ran, and just dropped everything while running. Alright. Now we do the villain turn again. Roll the die. Villain just is chasing her down like a madman, but happens to find this victim and takes it back home. The villain card. Set the table. The villain may capture 1 victim or ally from any discard pile. Well, that's not so good for us, because at the church, we have the chaplain. The chaplain, again, the villain is now about halfway towards winning. We can fight at the farm in order to save those victims, or we can continue on. The rest is going to be up to you.